Hello my loyal subjects and peasants alike, 𝐘𝐿 here. Today we're going to explore the bloody, beautiful and messy love life of Cleopatra, whose life starts as an X-rated movie written by a drunk god with mommy issues. From the second you pop out, Alexandria shakes harder than a noble on his wedding night. From a very young age you figure out quickly that you need power and money to make it in this world. So you sharpen your claws and learn 9 languages. While other kids play tag, you're memorising the Nile's moods and how to right swiping rich nobles with a bag the size of their egos. By your teens, you can charm a priest, roast a senator and flash a smile so lethal it deserved a PG-18 rating. Then comes Egypt's favourite chore, marry your sibling and win a kingdom. On paper, you're suddenly the blushing bride of your 10-year-old brother, Ptolemy XIII. He's decked out in gold armour, brains softer than wet papyrus, and regents whispering dirty nothings in his ear. It's less like a honeymoon, more like an inspiration for an upcoming Game of Thrones episode. You staple the crown on your head anyway, but Team Gremlin turns your little hubby into a ventriloquist dummy and boots you off the throne. So you basically were in history's first marriage where you got screwed without even spending the night. But instead of crying like a schoolgirl, you pack your bags with nerves and naughty strategies and sneak off to Syria. When you come back, you don't knock, you roll straight into Caesar's chambers wrapped in a carpet like a Christmas miracle. You trick Caesar into being friends with a little too many benefits. And our guy Caesar, he falls head over heels. Poor guy clears your debts, fries your enemies, and makes your brother look like a useless sidekick in a Marvel movie. Then civil war busts loose, Alexandria burns, the Nile is chaotic, and little Ptolemy XIII tries to escape with treasure on his back. He's loaded with gold, but the poor guy forgot that gold sinks faster than morning wood in cold water. He drowns like the Titanic, but with far less drama. The city calls it fate, you call it play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Next up is Ptolemy XIV. New brother, new husband, still about as exciting as getting fondled by a statue in a museum. Cold, stiff, and you're just waiting for security to show up. He's basically your choir boy, humming in the background while you and Caesar design empires and parade baby Caesarion around like a victory lap. Rome, of course, tries to act all virtuous like Jonas Brothers with their chastity bracelets, but you strut through Alexandria smelling like milk baths, honey oil, and the perfume of someone who knows exactly when to stop the foreplay and start the takeover. Eventually, you realise your guards are of no use, and you need to become a widow again to continue the takeover. And surprisingly, Ptolemy XIV catches a bad case of, well, dying. Poison, stabbing, beating his wood too hard, no one knows the real reason for his death. The paperwork just says, stuff happens. And you burn incense, reshuffle the royal seating chart and move on. Because let's face it, if the bedroom's boring, the politics had better be spicy. By now, your queenage is in full surround sound. But unlucky for you, Rome finally shows its true face. The same senators who once played in Caesar's lap now circle him like vultures. One moment he's the golden boy of the Republic, the next he's a man standing alone in a storm of knives. They stab and stab, and his proud white toga turns into one giant red flag. You're in the city when the news breaks. The forum goes quiet the way a bedroom does right after someone says, "So, what are we?" But you've played this moment in your head 1,000 times, so you start calculating. Your man is dead, his enemies are multiplying, and your baby's paternity is trending harder than your perfume. Rome wants you gone ASAP, so you ghost them like a bad situationship. You leave behind a statue, a rumour, and a son who looks suspiciously like Caesar. Then word drops that Mark Antony wants to meet. Antony, that's Rome's walking Casanova. His thighs are like siege towers, and brain is like an Instagram reel. Loud, flashy, and gone in 30 seconds. Perfect for you. You don't just walk into Mark Antony's life, you stage the kind of entrance that makes a man forget his own name. Perfumed sails hit the river before you even arrive, carrying your scent like a warning. Antony takes one look, breathes you in, and folds faster than a toga on laundry day. You talk about grain, he hears moans. You pour wine, he pours love. By the time you dock, Tarsus smells like roses, sweat, and a little too much passion. Suddenly, you forget all about Caesar, and Mark Antony is the new man of your dreams. You two host feasts every night, pull dirty pranks on your own city, and make jokes so expensive they need accountants. You drink like gods, party like YouTubers doing a 24-hour challenge, and give deadly dares to each other. Kick streamers would have loved collaborating with you. Speaking of collaborating, if you're interested in business opportunities with 𝐘𝐿, give me a shout at crappycrowns@gmail.com. Back to the story. Antony isn't as strategic as you and starts dreaming of conquering Parthia, and you bankroll it the way a girlfriend invests in a boyfriend's startup that's really just road trips, drinking games, and regret. Your fleet sparkles, your warehouses hum, and the royal bed doubles as a war room where maps get folded, and so do men. I mean, that's just multitasking with thigh strength flex. Meanwhile, Octavian is out there being Caesar's heir and adopted son, looking like a robot with a jawline. He hates Antony, but it's you that he wants to kill. His propaganda machine kicks into overdrive, and he leaks Antony's will, basically suggesting that Antony's of no use now that he's Cleopatra's lapdog. You let the rumours marinate. While they're gossiping, you crown your kids with kingdoms like their party favours. You apply the simple divide and rule policy, and let's be honest, it works. And as expected, Antony's Parthian campaign faceplants. So instead of nagging, you negotiate. He limps back to Egypt and drowns in your hospitality. Purple sails, cold wine, warm thighs, and a kingdom that still runs smoother than his battle plans. He marries Octavia for politics, but he always ends up back in your bed for war strategies and trying new positions. And while you're busy memorising the Kama Sutra by heart, Alexandria wakes up hungover with Octavian's army parked outside. Antony blames a suckerfish for jamming his rudder, and you give him the look people reserve for lovers who say, "It just slipped in." You kiss his forehead, straighten his armour, and turn the whole city into a thirst trap. At night, you two are still sweat and honey. By morning, you're planning on killing his son. Typical Cleopatra. Octavian, though, he's a brick wall with good cuticles. Immune to lipstick, immune to logistics, immune to the kind of offers that make other senators drop their togas. He's your one true enemy, so you try to make him soft by sending envoys, gifts, and letters so filthy they could crash TikTok, but he replies with math and deadlines. He's the only Roman who can watch you pour wine between your lips and still think about defeating you and not bedding you. You try a smile, a tear, and then the nuclear option, offering grain and world peace if Caesarian's recognised. And once you realise your eyeliner and thighs aren't working anymore, you lock yourself in your mausoleum, stack your treasure high, and tell everyone you're dead. Not oops, overdose dead, strategically dead. Antony hears the news, staggers like a guy who found his girl's finster, and does the dumbest romantic move in history. Falls on his sword. The only problem is, death is messy and he's bad at quick finishes. Bleeding out, he gets hauled to your window because the doors are bolted, and your servants rope and pulley his half-dead body up the wall like a busted delivery. You wake up from your pretend death, and Mark dies in your arms, blood soaking your lap like the world's worst lap dance. You kiss his still warm lips and whisper the only prayer you've got left. Let the kids live. You want to die, because being Octavian's slave sounds much worse. But Octavian? He wants you alive. Not out of mercy, but because Rome likes its trophies breathing, preferably in chains, with eyeliner intact, and still photogenic enough for the victory parade. You bare your teeth in a smile, already plotting the kind of exit no man can profit from or climax to. So you start auditioning poisons like their suitors. Hemlock? Dramatic, but drags longer than a boring lover. Opium? Feels like cuddling, but you can't trust it to finish the job. Snakes? Fantastic branding. Seductive, dangerous, but terrible for scheduling. When the guards finally burst in, they don't find a broken queen. They find you stretched out like a marble statue that forgot to turn cold. Maybe there's a snake nestled under the fruit. Maybe your arm carries 2 little love bites. Maybe your jewelled hairpins had more punch than perfume. Octavian storms in furious, realising you rolled your own credits before he could stage his finale. You denied him his victory kiss and left Rome with nothing but blue balls and gossip. But if you think she was the queen of war strategies, check out what life was like in Cleopatra's Egypt for a look at life under her rule.